Here is a long-lasting story arc that began in the late 1800s with a single mask and concludes with a massive journey to Egypt to defeat the man who started it all. Welcome to the Brumakian podcast, an episodic review series where I can review anything but not everything. On this show, I cover any piece of entertainment, whether it be various tokusatsu films, Japanese or otherwise, and anime films and shows. This week is episode 55, Humans vs. Vampires, my review of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure from part 1 all the way up to part 3. I will be excluding parts 4 and 5 because, well, that's going to take an ice age. In order to understand how this show was made, we need to take a look at its source material. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure started off as a manga back on New Year's Day 1987, published by, how you say his name, Hirohiko Araki. I guess that's how you say it. And it's still being published to this day, under the category of Shonen Jump, specifically Battle Shonen. For inspiration, Araki looked into using modern methods as a base before introducing modern elements he had at the time. Elements such as Western art, pop culture, and music pop culture references. Basically, pulling a South Park before South Park ever did it. And very interestingly, he decided to take this gigantic story and divide it into separate parts, focusing on one member of the Joestar family each. Can't say it didn't work because the manga became the most influential manga series to this day, and it still continues to this day with its latest part, Part 8, JoJo's. I guess that's how you say it. Getting referenced in other manga, anime, and of course, being memed to death with his fan base, questionable fan base that is, that won't go 10 days without saying, "Is that a JoJo reference? Is that a motherfucking JoJo reference?" in the modern day internet. It kinda got out of hand. Which brings me to its animated adaptation. In a July 2012 press conference while celebrating the 25th anniversary of the series, Hirohiko Araki announced that a proper anime adaptation is in the works and will premiere in October of that year. And who would be the animation company to produce it? That would be David Production. Its first 26-episode season of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, which focuses on Part 1 and Part 2 respectively, premiered on Tokyo MX, a television station, between October 2012 and April 2013. And its 48-episode second season, that focuses on Part 3 only, premiered on the same station. In 2014, an American-based anime streaming website known as Crunchyroll, ever heard of them, premiered the first and soon the second season on their website. In 2016, the anime was also aired on Adult Swim's anime block Toonami, with its dub being done by Viz Media. And of course, parts 1 to 3 were released on Netflix. But at the time of this recording though, it will be removed on March 27th. I wonder why. Unfortunately, that is where my gripes come in. The Netflix version of season 1 is completely censored. Don't even know why that is. So to fix that, I found the uncensored version here on YouTube, and I watched all of Stardust Crusaders on Netflix. That is thankfully uncensored. Thank God. With that said, let's get into the synopsis of parts 1 to 3. Actually, the synopsis of the entire series in general. And it goes like this. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure tells the story of the Joestar family, a family whose various members discover they are destined to take down supernatural foes using powers that they possess. Trust me, there's a lot that goes on in each. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to recover from all of that shenanigans. Oh, sweet merciful God, what a journey.
誇りの道を行く者に太陽の導きを野望の果てを目指す者に生贄を震えるほど心燃え尽きるほど熱くその手から放て鼓動体みなぎる勇気で迷いなき覚悟に喝采をその血の定めジョジョ
So, like the title said, it was bizarre. But yet, it was also enjoyable. I was genuinely surprised by how much I enjoyed it. Let's start with Phantom Blood. It's good. I like how the story got started in the first place, and I have to say, I was very invested. The characters are very simple and easy to understand. Jonathan Joestar is the purest definition of a goody two-shoes and a classy gentleman. Him, as well as Zeppeli and Speedwagon. Dio Brando is a conniving bastard, and honestly, he's my favorite villain. Not because of the stupid memes of, it was I, Dio, and, well, the other one, but how he was written. Well, he'll be much better in part 3. The only character that is completely forgettable for me is Arena, the classic damsel in distress number 900. Next up, Battle Tendency. Let me say this right off the bat. I like how this story continues. I love how it expands a certain plot element, and I love how the stakes are increased. The new JoJo for part 2 is the grandson of Jonathan, Joseph Joestar, and oh sweet merciful God, never have I seen any character who is this cocky. And hot damn, he became my second favorite Joestar. Lisa, good lord, I want this MILF's foot on my face while she eats his hamon. She's 50, yeah, but she looks like she's 22. Has she been drinking from the fountain of youth? Anyhow, her pupil, Caesar Zeppeli, is very arrogant, but likable. Him and Joseph bounce off each other so nicely. Some manly bromance going on there. As for the Pillarmen, AC/DC, yes really, Wamu, and Cars. Would you believe me, out of the three, Wamu stands out the most? The way he cares about his opponents before he ultimately destroys them 6 ways from Sunday is fascinating and amazing. AC/DC? He's alright, kind of forgettable. And as for Cars, I can see him posing for Playboy magazine before he takes over the world. A decent villain, if a bit generic. Now we come to Stardust Crusaders. Holy shit. The story involves Dio's return, but for some reason his name is all capitalized. And sure, the story is ridiculous because of the introduction of Stans, but as a whole, it's the journey of getting from Japan to Egypt to face Dio. And what a fantastic journey. It's called JoJo's Bizarre Adventure for a reason. Keep in mind, the majority of the journey is the crew encountering a Stan user, beating him or her down, off to the next destination. But throughout, I noticed that it was like a video game with all the stats of each character appearing very often. The characters. Holy. Kakyoin, Abdul, Joseph Joestar, now older, and there's even a dog named Iggy. They're fantastic, both on their own and together. But the best Jobro by far is Jean-Pierre Polnareff. He is everything that I want as a sidekick, and his stand, Silver Chariot, is the best looking stand I have ever seen. And then we come to Jotaro Kujo, or as I actually call him, JoJo. Let me say this. He is the best JoJo in my opinion. I mean, good grief. This guy is what happens if Clint Eastwood, Bruce Lee, and Batman came together and created this JoJo. His stand, Star Platinum, is a beefy boy. And his cries are the best. I mean, come on. Who doesn't love a good... The rest of the stands come in so many abilities and forms that each battle gives it variety in attacks, actions, and the ways that they are defeated. That is so video game-esque, it's fantastic. But one stand user that stands above all else is, of course, Dio. This conniving bastard gets his own stand called the world, and I'm not saying the other one because I'm not a fucking weeb. Anyway, the world makes sense, and his battle with JoJo is well choreographed. Although, I do have a problem. Actually, I do have a problem with the previous two parts. No, scratch that. All of JoJo. There's this huge emphasis on all talk, less action. People saying things like, hey, I encountered your counter of my counter to your counter. To be honest, it gets so repetitive. What I like in fight scenes is that the characters just fight without saying words and using their bodies to talk. In JoJo, well, okay, sure, I understand why. To explain what the hell is going on screen, because most of the time it's fucking confusing. But here's the thing. There's a thing in storytelling called show, don't tell. In JoJo, it's show and tell, and I don't like that. Another thing that is very strange to note are the poses, and goddamn are they weird. I don't know what Araki was smoking when he made those poses, but I don't like them at all. They are iconic, I'll give them that. But enough of that. How about the animation? David Productions went above and beyond to bring the manga to life, and even going so far as to include actual Japanese kanji pop up in action shots. It's like Scott Pilgrim vs. the World in a way. The voice acting in all three parts are great, both in Japanese and English. Jonathan's voice actors are really good in their roles. And would you believe me if I told you that the man who voiced Nigel Uno in K&D, Kids Next Door, is also the voice of Joseph Joestar in Battle Tendency? I am not kidding. And need I say more on Daisuke Ono and Matthew Mercer's performances as Jotaro Kujo? No, it goes without saying. I love Patrick Seitz' performance as Dio in parts 1 and 3. There's this level of calm, arrogant, and menacing tone in his voice that I love. The rest of the voice cast are pretty top-notch. Now let's talk about music. The music in parts 1 and 2, composed by Hayato Matsuo, and Taku Iwazaki, respectively, are both good. Nothing comes to mind except for the one track that was memed to death. I'm of course talking about Awaken. Both openings are very catchy. Sono Chino Soldame, or That Blood's Destiny, and Bloody Stream. Having Roundabout by Yes as an ending is questionable, but I didn't mind it. Too bad it got mean to death also. But the Stardust Crusader soundtrack is by far my favorite JoJo OST of the three. Yugo Kanno is an absolute genius. And thank God I can play these because my highlights are Dark Rebirth, Noble Pope, Tension, Approach, Hesitation, Charge of Darkness, Decisive Battle, cheerful journey. A party of stardust. The battle starts. Powerful enemy. Fists of Platinum. Shoot towards the decisive battle. Life and death matter. Awakening darkness of the world. The Return of Travelers. And of course, the main theme, Stardust Crusaders. But my favorite track by far is the fittingly titled Final Battle. I mean, just listen to this part right here. The two opening songs, Stand Proud and End of the World, are fantastic as well. Overall, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure from Phantom Blood to Stardust Crusaders can be ranged from good to really good to amazing. With that said, and the flaws that I mentioned, I'm giving Phantom Blood my final score of 72 hamon punches out of 100. JoJo 2 Battle Tendency gets the score of 80 words that you'll say next out of 100. And JoJo 3 Stardust Crusaders gets the score of 87 stand cries out of 100. Get all of these three parts on Blu-ray. Or you can watch them on Crunchyroll or Netflix. If you choose the latter, you better hurry because by the time of this recording, you'll only have 2 to 3 days before it's no longer there. Or if you couldn't do it in time or just you couldn't afford them, then you can watch clips of them on YouTube. Watch them in a playlist. And so, we have one more anime to go before Godzilla Singular Point. And for me, this is a big one. If you thought JoJo was something, then this one is going to be a beast to tackle. And if someone told me that it was going to be easy, then allow me to put an end to your illusion by one punch. If you missed the previous episodes, then a playlist will appear right here. Thank you all for watching and your support. If you're new to the channel, then hit that subscribe button and ring the bell to be notified. Your support will make a difference. This has been Dimitri signing off. Have a good day.